Did you know The Witches from 1990 may have been even stranger behind the scenes than it was on screen? Directed by Nicholas Roeg and based on the Roald Dahl novel, The Witches became famous for its dark tone, terrifying practical effects, and an unforgettable performance from Anjelica Huston. But here are 5 things you may not know about the movie. First, Roald Dahl reportedly hated the ending. In his original book, the story ends on a much darker note, but the movie gave audiences a happier conclusion, and Dahl was so unhappy with the change that he reportedly threatened to have his name removed from the film. Jim Henson eventually wrote him an apologetic letter, which helped smooth things over, but Dahl still wasn't a fan of the ending. Speaking of Jim Henson, The Witches would become one of the final feature films he personally worked on before his death in May of 1990. And his Creature Shop created some of the movie's most memorable effects. For Anjelica Huston's transformation into the terrifying Grand High Witch, she had to spend hours undergoing complicated prosthetic makeup applications. And apparently, she wasn't exactly looking forward to it. John Stevenson, a supervisor with Jim Henson's Creature Shop, later told the Los Angeles Times that Huston had already had an unpleasant experience with heavy makeup while working on Michael Jackson's Captain EO. According to Stevenson, Huston told him she was worried about having to get under all that heavy makeup again. And he understood why. Stevenson admitted that being covered in latex simply wasn't pleasant, but said Huston handled the process incredibly well and remained completely professional throughout. And all of that work paid off. There were no modern CGI shortcuts here. The Grand High Witch's horrifying transformation was created largely through practical makeup, puppetry, prosthetics, and animatronics, and decades later, it's still one of the most disturbing scenes in a children's movie. And remember that huge gathering of witches at the hotel? Some of those witches were actually men dressed as women. The filmmakers reportedly needed tall performers with the right look for the scene, so a number of bald male extras were dressed up in wigs, makeup, and women's clothing to fill out the convention. And the hotel itself has a story of its own. The Hotel Excelsior seen in the movie was actually the Headland Hotel in Cornwall, England, a historic seaside hotel that became the real-life setting for Luke and Helga's vacation. According to the hotel's own history, Anjelica Huston's then-boyfriend Jack Nicholson regularly had roses delivered to her while they were filming there. Hotel staff apparently became especially excited whenever Nicholson called the switchboard asking to speak with her. And yes, Rowan Atkinson still managed to cause a little chaos there. While staying at the hotel, he reportedly left his bath running before going to bed, eventually flooding part of the ground floor, including the movie's production office. But perhaps the most fitting detail? The Headland is supposedly haunted. Not by witches, unfortunately, but by reports of a mysterious woman wearing a long dark coat and a small white hat who has allegedly been spotted wandering the hotel. So even after the camera stopped rolling, the witches may have left a little bit of supernatural behind. And somehow, that feels completely appropriate. Thank you for watching, and let me know what film you'd like me to cover next.